Ready to see the future? She asked. Ben laughed. Of course. I've always wanted to peek into the future. How about 2019? Said Annie. Why not? That sounds delightful, said Ben.
5 years later. Jack came walking up the sidewalk to his house with his suitcase. Annie was sitting on the porch watching him. When he got close enough, Annie called out, "Welcome home! How's college life?" Jack tried to push his glasses into place, but then remembered he was wearing contact lenses. Old habits died hard. "Well, first year was okay. Not sure how Mum and Dad are going to pay for second year, though, especially with you going too. By the way, congratulations getting accepted into veterinary college." "Yep, a bit harder than studying history," Annie teased. "You have an advantage over all the other students." "Yeah, I did a research paper on Benjamin Franklin. I wanted to tell them that I had actually met him." They both laughed. "That was 5 years ago. For us, anyway," said Annie wistfully. Suddenly, there was a flash of lightning and a crack of thunder. Jack and Annie looked at each other. "You don't think?" said Jack inquiringly. "But it's been so long," replied Annie. Suddenly, an old man came galloping up their street on a horse and slowed down near their house. "Benjamin Franklin?" Annie and Jack both said at the same time. "What are you doing here?" "Ah, Jack and Annie, just the people I'm looking for," said Ben Franklin. "I wanted to test out my time machine." "Your time machine? Where?" Jack asked in astonishment. "Right here. Pegasus," replied Ben, stroking the horse's mane. "What? How?" "After I came to your time, I realized that time travel was possible, and I found out that if a horse reaches a speed of 88 miles per hour, it breaks the time barrier." 88 miles an hour? That's an oddly specific number," said Jack. "But horses can't run that fast. It'd be too dangerous for them," Annie asserted. "Normally, yes. So that's when I came up with my new invention. This, I call it a flax capacitor. I put in oats and barley here," said Ben, pointing at one end of the box attached to the horse's muzzle, "and special feed comes out this end, giving him extra energy." "It doesn't sound feasible," said Jack. "Oh, and a treehouse that travels through time does?" asked Ben. "Fair point," replied Jack. "So what are you doing here?" "I would love to see your library again. There is something I want to look up." "Unfortunately, we can't," replied Annie. "It's been closed down. A group called Mums for Liberty defunded it." "Mums for Liberty? That sounds very wholesome." "Yes, it does," said Annie. "Until you realize, for them, liberty means the freedom to take away other people's freedoms and liberties." "We call it doublespeak," said Jack. "You use the opposite of what you believe in the name of your group. For example, if you're going to spread disinformation and present only one side of an issue, you use the slogan, 'fair and balanced.'" Annie added, "And call yourself the Law and Order Party if you're going to commit crimes and cause civil unrest." "Crime and civil unrest? Is that common these days?" "Well, it is for one presidential candidate. Assaulting women, verbally and physically, inciting an insurrection, and also 34 convictions for fraud," stated Annie. "For presidential candidate? No one in their right mind would vote for such a person," said Ben. "You're right," said Jack. "Oh, thank goodness." "No, I mean, people not in their right mind would vote for him." "Unfortunately, we have a lot of people not in their right mind," replied Jack. "And he also stated he would be a dictator on day one of his presidency," said Annie. "Dictator? Like a king?" "Yes, but an absolutist king," added Jack. "George Washington and I fought so hard to rid this country of kings, but now the people want them back?" asked Ben. Jack shrugged. "Oh my," said Ben. "Is there anyone else running for president?" "Well, there was one other guy, but his brain was eaten by a worm. He's decided to join the dictator/king," said Jack. "The other person running is a black woman, but this being America, too many people would rather vote for a dictator than a black woman." Ben looked stunned. "I fear I do not belong in this world. I must return to my time and never come back. Do you two not fear for the future of this country? For the country? For the world, said Annie. The Earth becoming too hot? Computers taking over the world, added Jack. Nuclear weapons destroying the planet many times over. We're not even sure we'll live to be as old as you. Ben stood there with his mouth agape. In a panic, he quickly climbed on top of his horse. Annie asked, I don't suppose there's enough room on Pegasus for us, is there? But Ben was already starting to gallop away, gathering speed. Jack called after him, Wait, can you at least take me back to 2009 for a while? But it was too late. There was a flash of lightning, a crack of thunder, and Ben and Pegasus were gone. Jack sighed. Darn. A few bitcoins would have really helped with college tuition. The end.